Okay, aloha everyone. So today we're gonna go ahead and make some simple and powerful Orgonite. So the first thing you want to do, of course, is get your resin ready. So the first part is completely optional, and this is if you want your Orgonite to be the first layer, the top of the Orgonite to be pretty and not to have any like metals or any frills or anything coming off of it. You want that first layer to be nice and smooth. Okay, now like I said, this is completely optional, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys what I'm doing, because these pieces are actually going into my shop. So if you want it to look nice, you can follow this step. If you want the first layer to, you know, to be nice and smooth, go ahead and follow this step. Otherwise, you can just skip this part. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and get the resin ready. Now, I actually like to use measuring cups for my mixing, because I find it easier to, just depending on what I'm working on, it gives me a lot more control in the amount of resin that I'm using. So, and I mean, it's really convenient because I got these at the dollar store, so it's not like a huge investment. So, but it definitely makes everything a lot more easier to measure out. So I am using epoxy resin, and it is a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, so you want to make sure that you follow the directions, because I know every resin is different. Okay. So now the tip is to make sure when you're mixing the resin to mix it slowly. Okay, this is gonna help with the bubbles. If you mix it too fast, or if you're like whipping it, it's just gonna create a whole bunch of bubbles, and that's not what you want. It's a lot more, you can imagine how difficult it is trying to get all those bubbles out. So make sure you're mixing it slowly, especially for the first few layers. Okay, so once you have it mixed, nice and mixed, you're gonna, since this is the first layer, it's just gonna be the top part. You only want to use a little bit, pour a little bit of resin in. What I like to do is I like to just get my chopstick and spread it around. The thinner that you can make it, you know what I mean, the less visible and noticeable the first layer is. It really just depends on, again, how you want your piece to look, and you know what you're going for and what you're creating and how you want to design it. Go ahead and wait a few hours for it to finish curing, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours, and as you can see, the first layer is nice and dry. I already got 2 of the pieces started, but I just wanted to show you guys what I meant by the first layer. So, okay. So now that this is dry, what we're going to do is go ahead and continue and finish our piece. So, now the fun really begins. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do another layer. Like you saw in these first two pieces that I did, I am doing a layer of brass shavings. So you want to go ahead and get your metals and your crystals out at this point, if they're not already out. So what I'm also going to do is, just to show you guys as an example, I'm going to go ahead and do one of the Orgonites with crystals, just to give you guys like an example and show you how, you know, how the finished product would look if you were to go about doing it this way. Because like I said, I am doing these pieces for my shop, but I want to do one to give you guys a really good example of how it will turn out if you do it, you know, how I'm sure most of you guys would be doing it for yourselves, or if you want to do a layer of crystals instead of the metals. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and get our resins together. Okay, great. So once your resin is nice and mixed, we're gonna go ahead and do the second layer. So you're gonna pour a little bit in each mold. I'm choosing to do, for this batch, I'm choosing to do a layer of brass shavings. So for the last one, I have some crushed smoky quartz that I'm going to be using. I also want to be using some fluorite chips as well. So typically what you would do is, if you were to do a layer of crystals, you would let this, well, you can do this as optional, but you would let this dry before you add in the third layer. But these Orgonites aren't that big, so if you wanted to, you can go ahead and just do the last layer right away. But if, let's say, you do a pyramid, if you were doing a pyramid and you had like a huge layer of crystal, you would want that to cure first before you moved on to the next layer. So I'll go ahead and start putting in the aluminum shavings. Okay, so for the final layer, I'm gonna go ahead and move this really quick so I can show you guys. So I like to do a bit of alchemy with my work. So I'm going to be adding a few things to my resin. If you're going to be adding anything like color or pigments or dyes, you want to make sure that this is mixed first, okay? So I'm going to add in some selenite powder. Rose quartz powder. I have some Arkansas quartz powder. I'm going to be adding .24 karat colloidal gold, a few drops of that. Some colloidal silver. Sorry, that was colloidal copper and some colloidal silver. So I have in silver, colloidal silver, gold, copper, and last but not least, a few drops of ormus. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and mix that up. Go ahead and start pouring. I have some smoky quartz that have already been programmed with 432 hertz frequencies and 528 frequencies as well. So we'll go ahead and put the smoky quartz in there. Some more quartz crystals. I have some quartz crystals. These are also been programmed. Go ahead and top that off with aluminum shavings. Now, while you're working, it is good to play, have some music playing, maybe some healing music, meditation music, Reiki music, any music that has any of the healing tones and frequencies. And that'll help to program your Orgonite. Go ahead and finish the pour. Okay, perfect. So once you're done pouring, we're gonna go ahead and let this sit overnight. I highly recommend not taking them out too early, even though it may appear to seem done within the next, let's say in 4 to 5 hours. I would say to at least let it sit overnight to make sure that everything is completely cured and dry. Also, while it's curing, I do like to play more tones and frequencies in healing music. I actually play some channeled archangelic tones. Again, that's up to you if you want to do that. That just helps with the programming of the Orgonite. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so it's been about a good 15 hours, and they are all done and cured and ready to come out. So we're gonna go ahead and take these out and see how they look. This is probably like one of my favorite part of the whole journey. Just okay. How exciting. Ooh, oh my goodness. Ooh, the energy is amazing. Wow. Incredible. Could not be any more happier with how they turned out. Very powerful. And that's the other great thing, is if like you're really sensitive to energy, you'll be able to feel like once you pull them out of the mold, an overwhelming wave of energy just hits you, and it's so strong, especially when you first take them out of the mold. It's insane. Ooh. Oh goodness. Okay. Love. Wow. So nice. Okay, last but not least, we have our crystal. Ooh, okay. Different. Oh wow, this is a really strong one. Okay. So as you can see, what I meant by it having, with that first layer, you really get that smooth and clean finish, and this way it's like you don't have all these metals and all these frills and things like hanging off of it. It's nice, clean, and smooth. So this is what it looks like. It's so nice, so strong. I'm so happy with how they came out. The example that I did with the crystal, okay, so unfortunately you're probably not able to really see it clearly because, well, first of all, the fluorite and the smoky quartz is obviously transparent, so I mean you're not able to really see, you know what I'm saying, any coloration or anything. It's just kind of like sort of clear, but you can get an example of how it would be if you were to have like that one layer, that top layer of crystals. You see what I mean? So, but I mean, energetically, it's still pretty. It's powerful and it's really strong. So I'm happy with it. You just can't really see any color there because, like I said, the crystals are quite clear. But it's interesting. It's so cool. So yeah, there you have it. Amazing and powerful but simple Orgonite. So all you would really need to do now at this point is just sand the bottom to a nice smooth finish and do some polishing, and you are good to go. So I hope you liked my little tutorial, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And I hope you really enjoyed what you saw. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Namaste. See you in the next video.